I've said this before in multiple videos. I think a lot of people discredit how strong the Saiyans are actually are because of how they're looked at in the TV show against people like them. I really do. They be saying certain, like how they did the Omni-Man versus Bardock. That just showed that people don't really know how strong the Saiyans are. When you have one of the weaker Saiyans, which is King Vegeta, do this and destroy, what was that, 3 planets? Boom. That shows you how strong they actually are compared to these other heroes. I'm not saying that they just wipe out every hero in the Marvel DC universe, because that's not true. There are some that can compete with them and even beat them. But a lot of these other examples, I'm like, no, if you put Vegeta in this universe, and I think the same for Invincible, Vegeta is, drinking water beating these guys. Omni-Man's very powerful. He's not Vegeta. But, I always like seeing if I'm wrong or something, if I missed something, and what is other people's opinion. That's why I do these reactions. I love these kind of videos. But this video is why Saiyans versus Viltrumites. Why Saiyans versus Viltrumites is not close. And I hope he's talking about Saiyans. It's not close, which means like the gap, like the Saiyans is that powerful compared to the Viltrumites. The thumbnail showed Vegeta holding Omni-Man with ease, so hopefully that's what he means, unless he's just tricking me. But let's see. Shout out to SB the Sage. I'll put the actual video in the description below. And yeah, so let's get right into this. The video's not even that long.
Recently, I've been getting into the popular comic/TV series Invincible by Robert Kirkman, and immediately picked up on the parallels between the Saiyan and Viltrumite races, such as their dwindling numbers, goal of interplanetary conquest, and most importantly, their primal desire to do battle. Which is why in today's video I want to give an overall analysis of both the Saiyans and Viltrumite's capability when it comes to fighting, by going over both species' high and low tier combatants' individual stats like AP, durability, speed, and hacks, to determine which one of these warrior races is really superior, and why. The first stats we'll be going over are attack potency and durability, and we'll go ahead and start off with the Saiyan's low class warriors, who should all be around the same strength as Raditz, who is stated to have the lowest battle power amongst all Saiyans in the Daisenshu, giving all low-class Saiyan warriors power levels of at least 1200, thereby making them over 3 times stronger than Piccolo, who was notably able to destroy the moon in Chapter 208, a feat that has been consistently calced around small planet level in terms of kinetic energy output,
and that was Piccolo as one of his weakest
which is
in
the tier we'll be
DBZ.
placing the low-class Saiyans in for this video. Subsequently making mid and elite class Saiyans like Nappa and Vegeta baseline planetary to large planetary, considering the duo are 3 and 15 times stronger than Raditz respectively, which is pretty consistent when you consider Vegeta by his own words was going to turn the Earth into space dust with his Gallic gun, which is a feat that can be calced at large planetary itself. And that's without even mentioning the Saiyan's Osaru transformation that
in my opinion, they wouldn't even have to do that against the Viltrumites.
Osaru Saiyan's large planetary and the elites like Prince and King Vegeta freaking dwarf star level. As for the Viltrumites' AP and durability though, like with the Saiyans, almost every Viltrumite can be either up or downscaled based off one feat, which is the destruction of planet Viltrum caused by Omni-Man, Mark, and Thaddeus, that has been calced as high as large planetary in terms of kinetic.
And that took 3 of them. Again, King Vegeta did this and destroyed 3 planets. It took 3 of them to put a hole on the planet like that. Did they even actually destroy that whole planet, or was it just a piece of it? These 3 Viltrumites. I just want to throw that out there, though.
Output, even
the
at
fact
a
that
low
it took
end,
3 of them.
scaling virtually any high-ranking Viltrumite like Conquest, Lucan, General Krieg, or Anissa to large planet level, as all of these characters were shown to be capable of engaging in combat with and harming the aforementioned Mark, Thaddeus, and Nolan, who would have to be tanking the counter forces of their own kinetic energy output that destroyed Viltrum, which would then upscale the strongest Viltrumite of the entire race Thrag to near dwarf star levels of physical stats, as he should be at least 8 times stronger than the likes of Mark and Omni-Man, seeing as how he can literally one-shot Nolan and rip Mark in half like a piece of paper.
Dang.
Skipping past AP and durability.
Dang, that kind of spoiled it for me because I just started learning Invincible from watching the show. So I haven't read the comics. So that kind of spoiled because that hasn't happened yet in the show. Goodness gracious. Mark is dead? It must be something else that's going on. Maybe, I don't know. That kind of, because I like to watch the shows and get surprised. That's why I ain't reading the comics. Dang, but seeing Mark split in half like that, it's like, okay, Ain't no way he lives through that. I don't know. But that's a bummer. If I know how he dies, that's how he dies. Interesting.
Next stat we need to go over is speed, and we'll go ahead and continue with the Viltrumites, who have very straightforward but complicated speed scaling. This is due to the fact that we've been told Omni-Man was able to travel all the way to planet Thraxo, which is located in the Virgo supercluster that is over 65 billion light years away from Earth, which would mean Omni-Man would have to be moving at over 3 billion times the speed of light while flying. The reason I stress while flying, though, is because it's arguable that Viltrumites and Omni-Man are much slower in terms of combat speed than travel speed, as we've seen supersonic characters like Red Rush and the Immortal easily tagging and outspeeding Nolan, putting his actual combat speed into question. That being said, though, you could also argue Omni-Man was never actually going all out against these opponents or moving as fast as he could, considering
I remember that scene shocked the heck out of me.
Goes up against,
for someone who didn't know what Invincible was, I was like, what the heck?
Realized them afterwards, which is why I'll leave Nolan's and the Viltrumites' actual level of speed up to your guys' personal interpretation. Regarding the Saiyans and their level of speed, though, unlike with the Viltrumites, this is pretty clear-cut, as we've seen Raditz easily blocking Goku's Kamehameha that should be no slower than Piccolo's Standard Blast, which has been calculated to have a travel speed of 61% the speed of light, making low-class Saiyans like Raditz relativistic and Saiyans comparable to Nappa and Vegeta FTL+, and even MFTL in their Ozaru forms. Moving away from speed, though, the last thing we need to talk about is hacks, which are pretty basic for both Viltrumites and Saiyans, since both have the standard power sets of enhanced strength, super speed, and flight, with the only real difference between the two races' skill sets being that Saiyans can turn into Ozarus, and also have the innate ability to use Ki, allowing them to shoot energy blasts. With both the Viltrumites and Saiyans' capabilities completely laid out, though, it's now time to get into the evaluation portion of the video.
Look at that.
And right away, I want to make it clear that both races' fighters are relatively evenly matched in base, as it would at least take a mid-class Saiyan to take on a standard Viltrumite, while stronger Viltrumites like Omni-Man and Mark would require the likes of elite Saiyan warriors such as Bardock, King Vegeta, and Prince Vegeta. With the only outlier and wildcard for both races being Thrag, who could easily kill any Saiyan in base. Notice how I'm emphasizing base this whole time, though, since if King or Prince Vegeta manages to get an artificial moon in the sky, then even low-class Saiyans would be able to take on the peaks of the Viltrumite race, and Thrag would be absolutely slaughtered by any Saiyan above mid-class. Also, if you're wondering why
maybe I misheard him.
Both races being Thrag, who could easily kill any Saiyan in base. Notice how I'm emphasizing base this whole time, though, since if King or Prince Vegeta manages to get an artificial moon in the sky, then even low-class Saiyans would be able to take on the peaks of the Viltrumite race, and Thrag would be absolutely slaughtered by any Saiyan above mid-class.
I don't think they have to do
also,
that.
If you're wondering why I haven't mentioned speed and only been talking
I would say I would give Thrag maybe Nappa. Maybe. And again, because I hear someone say, well, you don't know the whole, like, I'm still learning Invincible. You're right. So I'm comparing it to Omni-Man. Thrag is... I've heard things about Thrag. I'll put it to you this way. I don't think Omni-Man's beating Bardock. You know, I think that whole death battle thing was false. It's their opinion. I respect it, but I believe it's false. I believe Bardock's beating Omni-Man. So, if Thrag is, as he said, 8 times stronger than... What did he say? 8 times stronger than Omni-Man? So that will put, because I think Nappa is stronger than Bardock. So I can see Thrag maybe in the realms of Nappa. I don't see Vegeta even trying that much against Thrag. You know,
power this entire time.
It's just an
opinion.
This is
simply because even if you think the Viltrumites are much faster than the Saiyans due to Omni-Man's aforementioned galaxy traveling, it doesn't really make a difference since he nor his race is really interested in speed blitzing and one-shotting opponents, as they would rather enjoy the thrill of battle against their strong opponent as opposed to taking advantage of an obvious speed discrepancy. And if you think that I'm exaggerating or even flat out lying about this, then I urge you to actually read Invincible, since it's quite literally stated multiple times that might makes right in the Viltrumite Empire, therefore not a single one of the 50 remaining Viltrumites we know would even consider a speed blitz, unless they're fighting fodder, which the Saiyans obviously are not. Furthermore, this is even assuming you think Nolan and the other Viltrumites can fight this fast, as if you think they can't, then it would be the Saiyans doing the blitzing, and even if you think they can, you'd have to agree that they'd hold back their speed to fight the Saiyans. Which just means this battle of races would simply come down to raw strength and numbers, which are both categories that favor the Saiyans. Therefore, I think it's safe to say if the Viltrumites ever tried to invade planet Vegeta, the result wouldn't even be close. And
yes, it wouldn't even be close. And we're not even talking about Super Saiyan. We don't even need, like I said, we don't even need to go there. We don't need to go to Kaioken with Goku. Yeah. It's kind of hard, in my opinion. Like, people say, why, like, am I just fanboying Dragon Ball Z? No, it's not even that. I'm a fan of Dragon Ball, but that's not, you know, I admit when I'm fanboying, like with Batman, I always say I'm a delusional Batman fan because there's a lot of moments where in the back of my head I know he's going to lose against certain heroes, but I always vote for Batman regardless and think he's going to find a way to win. And my excuse is, well, he figured out how to beat Superman, so even though Superman wasn't going all in the beginning, but I will still go for Batman. So I'm not fanboying Dragon Ball. I'm just looking at the feats they had. It's like, show me a Viltrumite that can raise their hand and destroy 3 planets. Show me a Viltrumite when they even mentioned Vegeta when he just used his fingertips to destroy the planet. Show me that. They showed a Viltrumite destroy a planet. It was 3 of them, but unless I don't know the comics, but it looked like they just made a hole. I don't even think they destroyed the whole planet. The Viltrumites look strong in the Invincible universe, but when I compare it to Saiyans and what they have done. And not even just Saiyans. You think of Namekians like Piccolo, the humans on Earth, some of them. You know, Tien, what he's done. I'm like, I mean, yeah, the Viltrumites look brutal in their comic book universe, but if you compare it to what the Saiyans have done, by chilling, they're chilling, destroying planets. It's kind of hard. Like I said, there are some Marvel and DC characters I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, they can beat the Saiyans. But when I see Viltrumites or other characters, like I'm so glad. Someone was talking about the boys, and I was reacting to it. I'm so glad they said that's not even close to the Saiyans like that. No, you know. But when I see them characters, I'm like, okay, yeah, they're really strong, but do they have the power to destroy a planet by raising your hand? I don't know. A lot of people like to gloss over that. I don't like doing that. Yeah, I like this. So basically, King Vegeta lifts his hand, one shots all the Viltrumite. I like this comment here. Overkill. That's what I'm saying. Like when you see stuff like that, and we know King Vegeta was not one of the strongest ones now. That like right now, at his time maybe, but that was it. Yeah, bro, completely left Broly out. Good call. Yeah, I like that too. Yeah, even baby Broly. That's what I'm saying. It's the Viltrumites look good in the Invincible show, but compare power, you know, bro, lowball Saiyans and highball Viltrumites, and still came to the sensible conclusion that it's not even close. Yeah, because I respect him for giving Viltrumite a little bit more credit, because it's like, all right, I might give you the low class Saiyans. I might even them could be Viltrumites in my opinion. But if you want to debate that, okay, I'll let you have them. You're not getting past Vegeta forward. Planet Vegeta could ship a pod of babies to planet Viltrumite. Oh my goodness, on a full moon and break. Yeah, you think of Kid Gohan when he turned 28? I think he could one shot all of them. Yep, so that's exactly what I said. So basically, Kid Gohan stomps with low difficulty, not even trying. And the thing is, let's just say the Viltrumites figured out that it was the moon. You saw 3 of them couldn't destroy the moon planet. Unless it was more to that comic. But from what I just saw in that picture, 3 of them couldn't destroy a planet or a moon, whatever that was. So it takes a lot of them to destroy one thing. I don't know. It's too many. It's too much. It's too much that the Saiyans have against the Viltrumites. So yeah, I like this title. It's not even close. And shout out to him. What was his name again? SB the Sage. Shout out to him. He gave Viltrumites a lot more credit. Because I wouldn't have. My video would have been 30 seconds. But anyway, yeah, shout out to him though. It's all fun talking. At the end of the day, we'll never know. Like when it comes to watching it. As cool as that would be, we'll never know in that sense. But at the same time, we do know. You know what I'm saying? But thank you so much for tuning in. I'll put the original video in the description below. Did I like his video? No, I did not. Sorry. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you later.